All right, for October 13th, 8:37 a.m., let's talk about some things that don't go well. So every now and then you'll wake up or you'll have like a night where like you'll just get a call. So bad things happen. They're going to happen, but usually it's one, two things at a time. It doesn't like all pile up normally. But sometimes you get one, two, three customers that something bad happens. So for instance, if you know what hosting is, it's kind of like where you host, where you keep your files for your website. It's what allows it to be live on the internet. Like they don't just exist nowhere. There's physical files on a server somewhere where they're kept that you pay for to have them there. So this hosting that we use for this client, um, it failed to auto renew its SSL certificate. And an SSL certificate is basically like an inspection sticker on a car. Like when you see the inspection sticker is up to date, you know, okay, most likely this is a car that it went through test. It should be good. It shouldn't just blow up. So because it expired on the website, Google saw it and was like, oh, this website might blow up, aka uh, it blew up, so it throws an error. It'll say like certificate not valid. This may be misleading you. It still works, but it is bad. Like it's bad, but it's literally on the hosting side. Um, some solutions would be to get so the hosting that we use is very affordable. Um, and I never have problems with them. Literally never. It's my favorite people. I always recommend them. I always use them because they're affordable. They provide you with the free domain. They provide you with the free SSL certificate. This has literally never happened. So it happened. I get a text like at 8 p.m. And one of the things like is funny to me. I think about America, um, or a lot of yeah. Honestly, when I talk to people from other countries or like different cultures, it's different. Maybe it's a millennial thing. I don't know, but a lot of time it might be like an age thing. I don't want to group it, but I have noticed, and I do this myself, and I'm trying to combat that by being a little bit more polite. So like I'll always say hello, how are you, or good morning, or good afternoon. But stuff typically comes in, and some not everybody does this, but typically I'll get something like what is wrong with this? Why is it not working? Like as if, and I haven't spoken to this client in like I don't know a month and a half. Like website's fine, it's been done. Um, so I'm like, oh, and I always try to combat with like again being polite, like good morning or good evening, client. How are you? Kind of just like oh shoot, like I just hit this dude up out of nowhere. Like man, like there's no way for me to know. So, anyways, handled it. It's fixed. It took about 12 hours. So it was supposed to be fixed last night. It wasn't fixed. Contacted the hosting again. They said some things wasn't fixed. I contacted them one more time. Walked me through some things. I didn't do anything, but they were like, check here, check here, check here. Okay, it should be fixed. And I'm like, okay. And it's fixed. So great, right? That's one thing. Thing number two is I have social media client that we post once a week for them. It's very, they don't have a website, they don't have a content, they don't have anything. So we post for them once a week, and I always ask at every month, like, hey, is there anything specific you want us to focus on? I don't get any responses, right? And out of nowhere, this last evening again, yes, last evening, but a little early, like 5, it was like, hey, what kind of posts are these? We don't like the pictures that y'all are using. Um, Pretty like aggressive on like, what are y'all doing? And it's like, oh, well, when I sent email, and dude, you should see the amount of chats I have sent to like the main client. So like it's a owner, right? And then they have like different people that kind of handle the communication part. But I literally have texted this man because he wants me to deal with him directly whenever it's like big picture stuff a million times, like 105 million times. Like, hey, what would you like us to do here? Hey, this is what we did this month. Is it good? Hey, can we set up a call? Hey, what day works? And then sometimes we'll set up a call, I'll call and they won't pick up. Or, hey, I'll call you right back. And it doesn't happen. Literally last week, it was like, let's have a call. He texted me. I'm like, great, I'm available right now and the rest of the day. But you can call me right now. Nothing. So I'm like, dude. Okay, so that's right, two. And then there was one more thing that happened. Oh, no, hold on. I don't remember. And this happens like not very often. And it's not a big deal because when you're like, doing this stuff, it's gonna happen. I mean, it's part of the game. There was one more thing. Who was it? I can't even remember. Was it a text? Let me see. Hold on. Give me un segundo. I have no idea. But something else happened. Um, oh, yes. Yesterday, I had a client cancel. So that's always a big deal. It's a marketing client because, um, they weren't getting the as much return as they would like, so they couldn't justify paying what they pay for for services, which I totally understand. And it's that one's not too bad because they've been with us for a while, so they gave it a fair shot, and it was actually a great client. But it just sucks. Like, all right, cool. Um, you know, it's never fun hearing that. Like, imagine, hey, we're just gonna cut your company's income by X amount. You're like, ah, crap. So yeah, that's some of the bad stuff that happens every now and then. It usually happens in like little drops. Like, you don't even need an umbrella. You can just like, oh, I'll fix it or we'll fix it. But sometimes I'll put like a little bucket, and you're like, oh, gotta change my shirt. And then sometimes like it just storms. So yeah, I mean, I've had a client that, and this is our fault. Like, we just didn't know that the the domain they were actually using for an email. Like, we completely, like, there was a big gap in like starting and finishing, and so when we took the website live, we totally like didn't account for updating. So domains, like if you have Caesar@CaesarGo.com, that's my domain. Let's say you have email set up with Gmail, and then you want to switch the hosting that you use for Caesar@CaesarGo.com. So I use Bluehost, right? But let's say I want to switch to GoDaddy for hosting. That's another hosting company. The records, the MX records, the TXT records will have to change from what they were with Bluehost to what they will be with GoDaddy, or else that link for email won't work anymore. And so when that goes down, I mean, it's a huge deal because people communicate with email, and then even bigger stuff, like, oh, I sent out a proposal, I can't get a response because I don't know what they said, or hey, they're picking up an order, I have no idea if they got my purchase order or whatever. So yeah, that's when it's like really bad. Like, oh, that's not good. But again, they happen few and far between. But I can only expect that it will always happen. It will always happen. The world is not perfect. We are not perfect. I am not perfect. Clients aren't perfect. They're busy. It's always a situation. So just wanted to share that. And now I can get started on the work for today. So peace out.